What's up, and welcome back to another episode of Gizmo Slip Tech. Today we're going through a 2025 June gaming laptop buy-in guide, and we're going to talk about all these different categories: general use laptops, casual gaming, ultra portable 14-inch or smaller gaming laptops, and then budget ranges from under 700, under 1,000, 1,500, 1,500 to 2,500, over 2,500, best value over 2,500, best looking over 2,500, best performance for any price, and most premium for any price. Why should anyone listen to me about gaming laptops? I have made over 500 tech review videos over the course of 20 years, well over 100 gaming laptops now in that time frame, and I have over 20,000 hours gaming on tons and tons of different laptops. And I myself have spent countless hours shopping and recommending and helping people just like you find a laptop that you will love. An even more important reason on why you should listen to me is that I try to be transparent and honest with all of my recommendations. One of the reasons why I try to do many of my benchmarks live with overlays showing the temperature, the FPS, the average FPS, and even the 1% load. Whenever my content is sponsored, I disclose that, and even when my content is sponsored, I don't let brands tell me what I have to say, because I always want to be honest with you, giving you all the pros and cons of each product that I am reviewing. So how can you support me? It's really simple. If this video helps you or my other videos help you end up buying a laptop, please use the links in the description down below to make your purchase. There's also a gaming laptop list, which we're going to go over in a moment, and there's also a lot of links on that list that you could use to help support me as well. So thank you very much if you do use any of those links, and know that that money will go to help support me and my team. This laptop right here is one that I'm just about to review coming up. This is the Strix G16 with the RTX 5070 Ti and the Ryzen 9955HX. One of my top recommendations coming up here. Okay, the number one question you need to ask yourself when buying a laptop is, what task are you actually going to run on it? Are you going to play games? Are you going to do general productivity? Are you going to respond to emails? Do you want to watch Netflix with a bright screen and great speakers? All of these questions are crucial to knowing what you want in a laptop. If all you need to do is email, Netflix, browse the web, that's it, then all you need is a basic, thin, light, portable gaming laptop with only a few CPU cores, probably no more than 8, and a decent enough display to enjoy your content. Now, this is going to be like the bottom of the barrel, and don't expect the display to be too amazing. You also only have 8 gigs of memory here on this Lenovo IdeaPad, and it's only a 256 gig SSD, but if all you're doing is email and browsing the web, you don't need more. Is it going to get good battery life? Is it going to be an enjoyable system? And for the money, this seems like a pretty nice deal overall. Now, the next option is the Asus VivoBook Go 15. Another full HD Ryzen laptop with 8 gigs of RAM and a 512 gig SSD. So you get a lot of flexibility with something like this. It's going to do just about everything you need it to do from a general computing perspective, and it's cheap, which is all you really need if you're just a general laptop user. Now, if you want to step it up to a more powerful system with a better build quality and better display, especially, going to the Lenovo YogaBook 7 gives you a 2-in-1 touchscreen OLED display, and it's also going to have better speakers. The Asus VivoBook S14 is another higher-end laptop with a 120Hz OLED display and a higher-end Ryzen AI 9 365 processor, and more system memory and more SSD space. This is going to be an even better general computing laptop, and right now it's $1,100, normally $1,249. If you're a general laptop user and you just want to be able to have the freedom to play a game or do more productivity, then my go-to recommendation is the Zephyrus G14 or Zephyrus G16, as those will be light, portable, have an OLED, and when they're on sale, they can usually be picked up for around $1,200 to $1,300. And you'll see me recommending the G14 over and over as we go through this. Now, if you're someone who can use a MacBook, which the primary reason to use a MacBook is you want good battery life, a good display, and a good speaker system, all in the same package, then a MacBook, I think, is a very viable choice and a good choice if you don't need to play the full library of PC games and you don't want to have the full power of what an NVIDIA GPU can provide. Because the M4 chip is good, but it's not nearly as good as an NVIDIA GPU at gaming. Currently, for $849, you can get a 13-inch MacBook Air, and this is going to provide great battery life and a great general computing experience. And if you wanted to spend more, you could go for the MacBook Pro 14-inch as well. So these kinds of laptops are my go-to for general productivity and usability if you don't need to do high-end gaming or have high performance for multimedia or productivity purposes like video editing. Let's step it up to the next category, casual gaming and productivity. So things like 3D modeling and video editing, having at least the basic functionality to do those things. The first recommendation is the Legion Pro 5i. If you really want to step up into higher levels of performance, you don't have to spend this much money, but this is one of the go-tos. And you could get the last generation, the Gen 9, on sale for probably around $1,200 to $1,400, or potentially in the used market for around maybe $1,000 to $1,200. But this is going to really ramp up your performance with an HX type processor and a dedicated GPU. Another option is going for something more simple like the Lenovo Lock 15. This gives you a full HD 100% sRGB panel with an RTX 4070, and it's only $1,200. So casual gaming, productivity, I mean, many of those things can fall into these other categories as well, so there is some overlap. Let's talk ultra portable 14-inch gaming laptops. I got 3 primary picks for you and 3 backup picks. Let's do this. First of all, we have the Zephyrus G14 coming in at $1,599. Again, an OLED display, 4060. This is going to give you all the basic performance you need to have a great gaming experience in an ultra portable form factor. But if you want the best gaming laptop that money can buy, pretty much, it's going to be the RTX 5070 Ti version, because you're going to get a more powerful next-gen CPU, as well as a great value GPU in a chassis. Now, you could theoretically spend even more money on the RTX 5080 version, and that will be a little bit more powerful, but it's not very much. Less than 10% faster, and it's going to cost a whole lot more than 10% more money for the upgrade. So 12 cores, 24 threads, 120 hertz OLED display, super lightweight. Love it. Another option, if you're after an ultra portable, is the Flow Z13. You're talking 16 cores, 32 threads, and an incredible iGPU, so an integrated GPU in this scenario, where you can play basically almost all the games on ultra settings with some upscaling with ray tracing off. I've done detailed testing on the Flow Z13, and it's definitely one that I can recommend. Another good choice is the Razer Blade 14. It's just going to cost quite a bit extra money compared to the G14. It's just going to cost quite a bit extra money compared to the G14, making the G14 not only the more powerful option because it comes with a more powerful GPU, but also the better value option because you can get a 5070, for example, for $2,700, or you could skip that and go for the 5070 Ti, which is going to be much faster for only $2,499. But the Blade 14, I would say the build quality might be just a slight step up over the Zephyrus G14. Now, an honorable mention that's currently on sale if you want to get a 14-inch chassis on a discount is the MSI Stealth 14 with an RTX 4060 and the Intel Ultra 7. So $1,249, it's going to give you a nice overall system. And I did do a review on this one specifically, and it's a great overall bang for the buck, ultra portable option on the market. 2 quick runners up, the Acer Predator Helios Neo 14, as well as the Acer Predator Triton 14. Both of those have potential as well. Next, we're going to talk best available option for under $700. So this is going to be like really penny pinching. And if all you need to play and if all you need to do is just play games, then getting something like a handheld Lenovo Legion Go or potentially the ROG Ally, this is going to be able to play lots of modern games on low settings at 1080p resolution, especially with a little bit of upscaling. And keep in mind that these are not going to be able to play every single game on the market, but like 99% of them, they can currently play quite well. Now, the main downside here is that there's no keyboard and mouse, and it's a smaller display. So if you want to use this with a bigger display, you'll need to use a USB-C dock, and it will actually function with a monitor and external keyboard and mouse, just like a normal 8-core system. Another option is going for an ultra budget laptop like the MSI Bravo 15 or maybe the MSI Cyborg 15 or 14. Oftentimes, these MSI laptops with the 4050 drop below $700. You can see currently it's $639. But don't expect these sales to last because they're usually flash sales, but they happen pretty often. At least currently. Eventually they won't though. So under $700, there's pretty limited options currently on the market. So let's step things up above $700 up to about $1,000. What are your best options if you were to buy today? The Lenovo Lock 15 with the Ryzen 7 7435HS and RTX 4060. You get a full HD 144Hz 300 nits 100% sRGB display for $924. So this is going to provide great overall gaming performance at the full HD resolution. You're going to be able to play all the games at ultra settings pretty much. Might have to turn textures down eventually, but at full HD, usually there's no problem with VRAM stuttering. So this is overall a fantastic buy for the money. You also have the Acer Nitro V16. Now, this is going to be a 16:10 aspect ratio with probably a slightly better display. Full HD, 165Hz, RTX 4060, 16 gigs of DDR5, and an even better Ryzen 7 8845HS processor. $929. I would pick this up over the Lock if I had to make a choice. Another great option is the Asus TUF A14 RTX 4060 Ryzen 5 though, a little bit weaker CPU, but you do get 144Hz 100% sRGB display for $899. And so this is also just a really fantastic value, especially since I like the build quality on the TUF laptop. Let's go 1,000 to 1,500 price range. Now, if you can possibly swing it and you time it right, you can get an RTX 5070 Ti or RTX 4080 laptop in this price range. Sometimes with the sales, they dip down into this price range. It's rare, but the Omen Max 16 was around $1,400 on sale just recently. If you pay full price, it's $1,600, but I'm just mentioning it because this is the ideal. If you're paying $1,500 and you can find one of these on sale, it's the best because then you're gonna be able to play every game maxed out, QHD resolution, pretty much ultra settings, for the next couple of years probably. So if you can't get the timing perfectly, then go for a great chassis with great display, great keyboard, mouse, and good CPU GPU combo. Now a good combo here is going to be an RTX 4060, 4070, 5060 or 5070. And of course, you're going to want a decent amount of premium system upgrades on the laptops. So here is a great example of a great value at under $1,500. You get a QHD 240Hz display, a 16-core 32-thread, a Dragon Range CPU with an RTX 4060, 16 gigs of DDR5, a 1 terabyte SSD, and I mean, that is just going to be able to play pretty much all the games, but the VRAM limitations, of course, of only having 8 gigs at QHD, know that you'll have to turn textures down in some of the games. Good option is when the Zephyrus G16 or G14 go on sale. This was just on sale for $1399. And you get a very portable premium package in the Zephyrus G16. There's going to be lots and lots of different laptop options out there, but the key thing to look for is great CPU, GPU, and especially the display. The chassis, it may not matter as much if you don't get the perfect ports or the perfect keyboard and mouse. What really matters is the performance as well as the display being excellent. So let's step it up to $1,500 to $2,500. What are my top recommendations? Another phenomenal pick is going to be the Asus Strix G16, and there's several different configs here, so let's take a look. If you're after some of the best bang for the buck around the $2,000 price point, I recommend the Strix G16. You get a Ryzen 9 8940HX Dragon Range processor that's 16 cores, 32 threads, with an RTX 5070 Ti, 16 gigs of RAM, a 1 terabyte SSD, and a full HD 165Hz 300 nits display. So you're gonna be able to play all the games on max settings with this laptop for a long time. Now, if you step it up another $300, you get the latest Ryzen 9 9955HX, 32 gigs of RAM, a 1 terabyte SSD, and a QHD 240Hz 100% DCI P3 color gamut display. And yes, I do think this is worth the $300 upgrade, especially if you're after the best performance in esports and you want to spend even more money. Then you can max out with the Ryzen 9 9955HX 3D, which has the 3D V cache, giving you even more performance in esports games and CPU-bound games. It seems like a fantastic value and a great option, especially for esports gamers on a mid-range budget. Another great option to consider is the Legion Pro 5i with the Intel Ultra 9 275HX, RTX 5070 Ti, a QHD 240Hz OLED 500 nits. This thing's only $2,000. That is just a really good value. Be sure to use these coupons as well when you check out. Now, if you want to step it up and spend a little bit more, you can go for the Pro 7i. It's going to be a few $100s more, $23.99 currently on sale with the coupon Extra 5. QHD Plus 240Hz 500 nits OLED, once again, 32 gigs DDR5 6400, and you get a better cooling system, better RGB implementation, and this laptop is right behind me. It's amazing. It's a really nice machine and some really fantastic value around the $2,500 price point. Now I'm going to mention it again. The Zephyrus G14 with a 5070 Ti is just going to be a fantastic portable thin and light system. So if you want something that's portable, has lots of performance, this is going to be one of the best choices around the $2,500 price point. For laptops that cost more than $2,500, there are just lots of things to consider, but probably one of the most important things is what GPU you're going to pick. You've got three main options: RTX 5070 Ti, RTX 5080, or an RTX 5090. Now, the 5090 is often not worth the upgrade in terms of value for your money. It depends on how much each company charges for each jump from 5070 Ti to 5080 to 5090. But if it's more than about $500, it's probably not worth the value for the upgrade. I've got two recommendations for best value over $2,500. That's going to be the HP Omen Max 16 with the Intel Core Ultra 275 and the RTX 5090. It only costs $3289 right now, and it's the cheapest RTX 5090 laptop on the market. Other option to really consider is the Alienware Area 51 lineup with the 16-inch or the 18-inch. These ones also cost significantly less than other RTX 5090 laptops, especially when they go on sale. But these are some of the only RTX 5090 laptops that are under $4,000. So obviously, best value would probably be going for a 5070 Ti or 5080 Ti version of these machines, but it's up to you. If you want to go for the most performance and still have the best value, then these are really your best. If you're looking for best looking gaming laptop, $2,500 or more, dun dun dun, you're looking at the Scar 16. You have an Anime Matrix RGB light up logo, 360-degree lighting with coordinated lighting on the keyboard itself, as well as a number pad that lights up on the touchpad. So it's just an incredible amount of RGB on here. Plus, I mean, it's a gorgeous mini LED QHD 240Hz display that can go over 1,000 nits. All of these RGB upgrades are going to cost you a pretty penny, and that's going to set the price well over $4,000, especially when factoring in sales tax. Now, if you're after the best most performance that money can possibly buy, then you want to buy the XMG Neo 16 with the external water cooler. I have this laptop right behind me here with the water cooler attached right now, and I've done detailed testing on this already, and I've actually just got in the 9955HX3D version, so I can do a head-to-head Intel versus AMD comparison coming very soon. Both of those have an RTX 5090 in them, and if you're going to go for this, I do recommend getting the external water cooler because it basically lets the CPU run at 200 watts of power almost continuously, which is basically unheard of and higher than any other laptop on the market to the best of my knowledge. So if you're after just the absolute max performance that you can get in a gaming laptop, the Neo 16 is it, but it's only about, 5 to 10, 15% faster at most compared to air-cooled laptops. So don't think it's like a night and day difference, but there are some really nice performance upgrades on this machine. You get a QHD plus 300 Hertz All right, that's awesome. You also get a very tunable BIOS, so there's more overclocking and undervolting options on this compared to many of the other laptops. And this is the only laptop that offers the RTX 5090 with the 9955HX 3D paired with a 300 Hz QHD Plus panel. So that makes the XMG Neo 16 a superb gaming laptop for esports and competitive first-person shooter aficionados out there. Probably my top choice if I had to play first-person shooters on a laptop today. Now, I want to give a shout out to a couple runners up for highest levels of performance, the MSI Titan 18HX as well as the MSI Raider A18HX. This one is the other laptop that has the 9955HX 3D from AMD paired with an RTX 5090. And this is currently back ordered like crazy, so if you really want to get a laptop with the 9955HX 3D, pretty much got to go with the Neo 16 currently. Now, another honorable mention is definitely going to be the Legion Pro 7i with the 275HX and the 5090. I tested this with the 5080 and had phenomenal performance, really good CPU performance, especially on air, and it's also pretty reasonably priced for what you're getting, $3699 for an ultra high level of performance. Now, if you're after the most premium gaming laptop experience, the best displays, with the best speaker system, with the best webcam, with the best keyboard and port selection, and it's thinner and lighter than most of the other similarly equipped laptops on the market, then I have two primary recommendations. The best, in my opinion, currently in 2025 is the Razer Blade 18. If you go with the 5070 Ti version of this machine, it comes in at $3499, which is not terribly overpriced, but it's a lower power GPU for your money. If you go up to the 5090 though, it's gonna cost $4899, which is a lot of money, of course. So you basically get 4K 240 Hertz display, which is awesome, with a full HD plus 440 Hertz. That is insane. Just really good for esports, and it's gonna be a really great all-around machine, I think, for multimedia, watching stuff, and also listening to music, because the Blade 18 speakers are the best I've ever heard. And I do have my Blade 18 over my shoulder here on the shelf behind me. It's a laptop I've used the last couple of years, and I really, really enjoyed it because of those premium features. Now, the Zephyrus G16 with the Intel Core Ultra 9 285H is not going to be as powerful of a CPU, but this is also a much thinner overall system. So if you're looking for something that is just exceptionally thin with really good speakers still and a great display and enough performance to play all the games on Ultra, then the Zephyrus G16 with the 5090 is my go-to recommendation for someone that wants that blend. But there's only 120 watts of GPU performance going to the Zephyrus G16 here, so you're definitely going to have noticeably less performance with probably 20 to 30% additional performance gain if you were to go with a thicker, bigger system that goes all the way up to 175 watts. One of the biggest competitors to the Zephyrus G16 is the Razer Blade 16. This laptop utilizes a thermal bump on the underside here that lets it basically put out more watts than the Zephyrus series, but it's also going to be a little thicker, especially where that bump is. Now, it's $44.99, so it's almost the same price, and you get up to 160 watts of GPU performance on the GPU when on the go, but if you put this on the Razer cooling pad, you can actually get up to 175 watts when you're at home. That said, if I had to pick between the Zephyrus G16 and the Razer Blade 16, I think I would still go with the Zephyrus G16, even though it's going to have slightly lower levels of performance. Now, another honorable mention for most premium laptop is the Lenovo Legion 9i. You can get this or start ordering this very, very soon in Asian markets, but it's not going to come to the US until Q4 2025. So the key feature here is that you get a UHD plus 240 Hertz that's 3D enabled. So it uses a lenticular display to send images to the left eye and right eye to give you naked eye 3D effects. I have used similar technology in other laptops, and it's just an incredible premium feature to have. And currently, the Legion 9i is the only flagship gaming laptop that is going to offer this. It's currently the only flagship gaming laptop that will offer this sometime in 2025. It's like using a VR headset, but without any dizziness or motion sickness because you're still looking at a display. So those are my top picks currently, June 2025. Let me know in the description if you found this video helpful and if there's any recommendations that I missed. Please be sure to share them in the comments section down below. If you decide to pick up any of the laptops from this video, please use the links in the description down below in a browser that is trackable so that you can help support me and my team as we make content like this and help gamers find laptops that they will love. That's all for this episode. We'll see you in the next one. Brandon out.